Well, it was an emotional end to an incredible season for the Fighting Illini. Brad Underwood and his everyday guys have made Illinois basketball history. Thank you for tuning into Illini Sports Night. I'm Saeed Rabo.
And I'm Maisie Garrett. Saeed, we were both in Indy.
That's right, we were.
It was quite the roller coaster, a really amazing experience, but also ended in a lot of heartbreak for these guys.
No, for sure. You obviously had so much pomp and circumstance with, the players being there, getting so much media attention, which is always the beauty of it. But then you have the heartbreak, which was, you and me were both there at the locker room. And it's always a sight to see these people really, give up all their emotion.
It is. And the locker rooms, I will say, probably the most heartbreaking thing I have experienced at this university. But it was all because of love for the game and how good they did and how great of a team they knew they were.
No question about that. With the Illini basketball season coming to an end, let's review some of the biggest moments from this past season. As always, Underwood tested his group early, scheduling 4 high-caliber Quad 1 games ahead of conference play. They went 2-2 with a memorable win against Tennessee in Nashville. Illinois then went on to dominate the first couple months of its conference schedule before going on a monster, undefeated January stretch, including what perhaps may be the highlight of January, nay, the highlight of the year. Keaton Wagler dropped 46 points at Mackey Arena for a historic upset win. They never lost against teams outside of the Quad 1 tier in the regular season. At that point, the whole country was high on the Illini, but the basketball gods giveth and the basketball gods taketh away. The team then went on a shaky stretch from February to early March when the team finished 4-4. 3 of those losses came in overtime. Speaking of overtime, Illinois then went into postseason play at the Big Ten tournament in Chicago, where they lost a heartbreaker in overtime against Wisconsin. At that point, questions loomed about whether or not this team could really make a serious run. But the team got hot in the nick of time, a magical Final Four run that included dominant performances against Penn, VCU, Houston, and Iowa that ultimately ended on Saturday night against UConn in Indianapolis. Illinois was the first of 3 teams that got its championship hopes crushed in Indy, but it was the best season for the Illini in 21 years.
That's right, and after the final horn sounded, tears flooded in the Illini locker room. And while it's normal to see this reaction from athletes, it's not every day you see their head coach who sheds tears along with them. Brad Underwood has had quite the unique coaching journey, but this is one year he'll remember forever. Carson Fenlon joins us with more on Underwood's path to his first Final Four.
Well, it may have taken the Illini 21 years to make it back to the Final Four. It took Brad Underwood even longer to land a head coaching job. 26 years, in fact. Well, to land a Division I head coaching job, that is. He served as the head coach at 2 junior colleges before making it back to the NCAA's D1, but it was as an assistant. His first assistant job was at Western Illinois. After returning from junior college, his next job was at Kansas State, where he also played in the mid-'80s. He stayed there for a few years until he followed Frank Martin to South Carolina, before he finally got a shot to run his own program in Stephen F. Austin. Now with the Final Four under his belt, let's hear what Brad Underwood has learned along the way.
Because the one thing this did for me was bring a lot of people who I haven't talked to, reached out. And there's a lot of people here supporting me and my family. And that's what this experience is about for me.
While this season may be over, Underwood and the Illini's journey for next season starts now.
All right, Carson, I heard you say Kansas State in there really quickly. I kind of think that there's a little bit of a Kansas State to Illinois to Kansas State pipeline going on.
Well, first of all, as we all know, Coleman Hawkins left Illinois for Kansas State, but also Bruce Weber at one point, who was the last coach to lead the Illini to the Final Four, left Illinois for Kansas State after Kansas State coach Frank Martin took Brad Underwood and went to South Carolina.
Strange how the world works. Very small world. Thank you so much, Carson. Now, it's normal for a team so close to a national championship to just feel that weight of what could have been. And Elliot Casey joins us with more on the bright side for what the future may look like for the Fighting Illini.
It was not quite the perfect ending for Illinois and Indianapolis, but Illini fans have a good reason to be optimistic about next season. For starters, a good chunk of the Balkan bloc look like they'll be back for another year in orange and blue. In the locker room after the loss to the Huskies, David Mirkovic, one of the most beloved freshmen in the nation, gave fans a sneak peek of his plans for next season.
If you come back, can you be the leader of this program?
Yeah.
How would you do it?
I would say that I didn't have a summer last year. It was a lot of problem with my papers and visa. And it's, I would say, dangerous summer is in front of me, and after that there is a dangerous season, and I know I have so much room for improvement.
On top of Merck, Illinois' lethal big man Zvonimir Ivisic, also known as Big Z, all but confirmed his return to Champaign for the 2026-27 season. Z said it's hard to see the seniors walk off the court for the last time, but is confident that the culture is here to stay.
A lot of guys, they're not going to be here next year.
Yeah, but you're not done here yet, man.
Huh?
You're not done.
Yeah, I'm not done, but, you got Bam, you got Ben, you got Red, you got,
But
feel
what you
bad
guys
for them.
have already built.
Yeah, he's going to stay
Carrying over?
forever, for sure.
His twin brother Tomislav and forward Jake Davis have both been bought into head coach Brad Underwood's culture since they stepped foot on campus. Now, two of the longer tenured Illini, Tommy and Jake, are also expected to run it back for their senior years. Do not worry, Illini fans. The future is still very bright.
All right, now big question mark for the season. Andrei Stojakovic. Oh, Elliot, what do you got for us? Any updates?
Well, Andrei Stojakovic, he's actually the only member of the Balkan Bloc that is not represented by Miško Raznadovic, who's actually Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets MVP agent.
Interesting. So kind of going to see where he ends up coming back or not here. All right.
It's very interesting how the world works, like you said earlier. Very small. Illini freshman Keaton Wagler and UConn freshman Braylon Mullins became the first freshman on opposing teams to score at least 15 points in a Final Four game since 1982. It's a while ago. The last freshmen that achieved this feat back then were basketball legends Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing. Boy, are those big names. This comes after a breakout season for Wagler, who turned out to be the centerpiece in this team's historic run. He was honored with yet another award to put an exclamation point on his outstanding year on Saturday. Wagler received the Jerry West Award, named after the 14-time NBA All-Star and Basketball Hall of Famer Jerry West. The award is given to the nation's most outstanding shooting guard in the nation. Wagler joins NBA star D'Angelo Russell, as the only two freshmen to earn this honor, with Wagler most likely going to the NBA next year. This award puts a final stamp on a historic season for Illinois men's basketball. Now, Illini fans will wait to see if Wagler does indeed decide to take his talents to the NBA.
Now, while the Illini had hoped for a different outcome back on Saturday, it's still worth mentioning the school spirit that flooded campus last week. Abigail McAvoy is here to show us what campus looked like as they prepared for the big weekend.
Yeah, Maisie, last week every corner of campus was covered in orange and blue. Businesses showed their support with banners, merchandise, and even some discounts. Also on campus, the alma mater statue was decked out for the first time in 21 years, featuring number 4 Kylan Boswell's jersey. The pride on campus carries past the March Madness, with some students expressing how memorable this made their college experience.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's really cool, like, going to all my classes, just everyone's wearing Final Four merch, and, like, you can just sense the game coming up. Like, I don't know, it's just, yeah, real high right now.
The Illini still managed to get that Southern Region NCAA title, making this basketball season not only a historical season, but an unforgettable one.
Now, Abigail, I understand that you were at the Orange Crush in Indianapolis. What was that like? Take us into that.
Yeah, Saeed, I also had the opportunity to stick around for the Michigan-Arizona game, and I can confidently say that Orange Crush definitely had the best student section, making the whole stadium electric.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. As expected, students packed the streets before Saturday's game. Before Saturday's game made campus become a sea of orange jerseys. Here's reporter Jean-Luc Charles talking to students before the game.
I'm currently standing in front of the alma mater as the Illinois Fighting Illini are preparing to take on the UConn Huskies for a potential trip to the national championship. It's been an absolutely historic run for the Fighting Illini. First Final Four in over 20 years. The campus is electric. Bars are packed out. Let's go take a look at how students are feeling around the campus.
Even though it was a little bit colder than last week, Illini fans are still happy to come out to campus
fill the streets, and come together to cheer on their team.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a different experience, like just going different places and watching the game, especially like getting that college feel. Like it's my first time on a big campus, so just trying out different things, seeing what the vibe is like on campus for sure. I think being with the people, like just what I'm saying, meeting new people, seeing different people, meeting friends, stuff like that. I know that's a big way, especially on a big campus. Find ways to meet friends, but also the camaraderie you have with your friends too. Just trying different stuff out here is pretty fun.
Oh, 100%. It's been like 21 years since the last Final Four. So yeah, it's definitely bringing us together. I'm 20 years old, so literally since I've been born. So definitely a little bit. It's definitely it's freezing, but it's a vibe. Like we're all a community. It's really fun. I am really cold, but you know what? It's worth it, honestly.
I mean, it's a really big deal. The team spirit here is so high. Everyone's so excited to watch the game. I'm seeing flags everywhere, orange everywhere. So I just had to come. I had to come watch it. Yeah. Energy's up. Everybody's wearing their orange. Like, it's really high.
Although Saturday night wasn't the outcome Illinois fans were hoping for, the pain hurts a little bit less when you can share it with others.
Yeah, in the end, a disappointing loss for the Illini, but this year's tournament run was definitely one for this campus to remember.
The alma mater statues dressed up for big moments like graduation, a bowl game, and was most recently, we just saw her wearing a basketball jersey with a number 4 on it. Now, while it's a coincidence that it was a celebration for the Illini making it to the Final Four, it's no coincidence that jersey number belongs to Kylan Boswell. Now, while Boswell is a starting senior and a major leader for the Illini, the story is much deeper than that. Although he started college at Arizona, Boswell grew up right here in Champaign, Urbana. Before heading to California for high school, Boswell played basketball at Urbana Middle School with a state championship appearance in 8th grade. His basketball career has taken him a lot of places, but destiny insisted he finish his career at home. For Boswell, life has come full circle. And after his final game in orange, I asked him what it means to him to see alma mater wearing his jersey.
It means everything to me. Growing up here, born and raised, how much love I've gotten since I've gotten here, and throughout this season especially too. For forever be grateful in my career here, and it just makes it so much more special for me. The memories, all the moments I've experienced while I've been at this university, it just means so much to me.
Said returning home after a historic run and a great senior campaign at Illinois, Boswell now has his sights set on the NBA.
What a wonderful story. Something about a Final Four run, though, has a way of bringing a community together. Adam Edwards, explain. Adam, what you got?
That was the sound of hundreds of fans outside the Bielefeld Athletics Administration Building on Wednesday afternoon, as the Illinois men's basketball team began their road trip to the Final Four in Indianapolis. Despite temperatures sitting in the 40s on Wednesday afternoon following a morning of rain, fans of all ages cheered on as Josh Whitman, Brad Underwood, and Kylan Boswell addressed the crowd before the Illini boarded the team buses and departed for Indianapolis. I talked to one student in attendance who said he planned on making the trip to Indy with the Orange Crush.
Just didn't have class afternoon, so we're here to support our team. Making the trip to Indy, we're going to head over there Saturday morning and hang out all day and then go to the game.
Now, me and Maisie weren't the only ones out there with cameras at Illinois' first Final Four send-off in 21 years. Tomislav Ivasic was spotted among the athletes taking photos of his team's send-off.
Oh, what a great picture. You know, we saw a couple of other times this year with a camera, didn't we, Adam?
Yeah, we did. We saw on the Maryland game towards the end of the regular season, we saw Tomislav with a video camera actually taking videos of his teammates that popped up on social media.
Yeah, lots of fun with this team, per usual.
Well, Underwood's team, wasn't the only team of Hoopers on campus to make a Final Four. We'll explain when we return on Illini Sports Night.
Every day, we are here, turning classes into careers that change lives and research into solutions that save them. We are here, creating jobs, driving innovation, proving what's possible with purpose, passion, and creativity. We are here, serving our communities, working today for a stronger tomorrow for all. We are here.
Well, all eyes were on the Illini men's basketball team this past weekend. Illinois men's and women's wheelchair basketball teams traveled to Tucson, Arizona for the National Intercollegiate Wheelchair Basketball Tournament. Over this past weekend, the Illini traveled to the University of Arizona for the 48th annual NIWBT. The men's team, with a NWBA Player of the Year, Ryan Fitzpatrick, opened with a first-round win against UT Arlington. Despite losing in the semifinal to Alabama, that's not where the road ended for the Illini. They beat Southwest Minnesota State Mustangs to earn third place. The women experienced a similar path as the Illini suffered an opening defeat against Alabama like the men's team, but they placed in third place as well, where they also saw glory over the host, Arizona.
Now, earlier today, ESPN released their way too early 26-27 poll for women's basketball, and the Block Eye is pretty high up on that list. Illinois is all the way at number 16, and a big reason for that is because of the youth on this team. The Illini women were the youngest in the tournament this season, and they're led by freshman Ciara Parchment and sophomore Barry Wallace. ESPN said the two will in fact form one of the best duos in the Big Ten's 26-27 season. Now, that is if they stick together in Champaign.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and as of right now, we don't have any confirmation on whether or not Ciara Parchment or Barry Wallace will return, but another women's basketball player has announced she's entering the transfer portal. That's freshman Naomi Benson, who is the second player on this team to enter the transfer portal this offseason, following sophomore Haven Smith. The true freshman played a total of 74 minutes this season and shot 7 of 10 from the floor for 14 points while pulling down 22 rebounds. While Benson never truly found her way into the rotation, she is young and is a former 4-star and should land a high major offer. Well, basketball season is over, but the Diamond Sports are in full swing. Stay with us on Illini Sports Night for more.
When we work together, we achieve the extraordinary. Across the state, we're breaking down barriers and bringing people together. And we're developing solutions that ensure all communities benefit from the progress that innovation inspires. The University of Illinois system is leading the charge to co-create a brighter future for everyone. Let's achieve the extraordinary together.
one of Illinois' most decorated athletes, looks to continue doing what he does best, but outside of the NCAA. Lucas Bird is heading to the Real American Freestyle, and with more from the mat is our Jordan Triplett. Jordan, what's up?
Thank you, Saeed. Might I add, that tie and dress shirt combo, I'm going to need to take that one from you. But
that.
Thursday, it was announced that the 2025 NCAA National Champion and 4-time All-American will be competing in the opening bout of the RAF 08 card in Philadelphia. Bird will be taking on Darian Cruz, a 2017 NCAA champion for Lehigh University and the 2024 Olympian for the Puerto Rican national team. While competing in a stacked 133-pound division full of first-year phenoms such as Jax Forrest and Marcus Blaze, the veteran Bird placed a respectable 8th place at the 2026 NCAA championships. The placement was enough for him to earn his 4th All-American season, making him just the 2nd Illini in program history to take such a status. After a successful 7-year stint with the program that saw Bird amass a 119-21 record and claim a national title in the process, the Illini wrestler looks to use all the experience he's gotten to continue soaring to new heights in the wrestling world. He will compete on April 18th at the Liacouras Center in Philadelphia.
All right, Jordan, but you tell me, why is this so meaningful for the guy to continue doing what he's doing at, I guess, the pro level?
I got you, man. I mean, Birdman's been doing amazing, but this is even bigger for him. RAF, it's got a lot of big names. The main event's got some UFC guys. We got Armin Sarukian. We got Uriah Faber. We got Merab Divashvili, big names, and he's opening it up. He's going to be setting the pace, setting the standard for what's to come, so it's going to get a whole lot of eyes that maybe aren't familiar with Lucas Bird are going to know that name.
All right, well, we appreciate it so much, Jordan.
All right, well, the Illini baseball team's hoping to see similar success as well after losing 2 of 3 at Purdue last weekend. Illinois baseball falls to 15-15 on the season and a sub-500 conference record. The Illini have also recently lost games to Illinois State, Penn State, and Missouri in their bragging rights game. Now, however, things could be looking up for the Illini beginning Tuesday. Illinois will host its first of 12 straight home games, including multiple against non-power conference teams. This includes a 3-game series against New Orleans over the weekend, with other games against Indiana State and SIUE. The Orange and Blue should have ample time to prepare to face conference foe Oregon when they come to town on April 17th. The Illini will play Indiana State on Tuesday in what is a must-win bounce-back game for the Illini. First pitch is at 6 p.m. Central.
After losing one of their header game, 7-0 against Michigan State, Illinois softball was at least able to win the second game, winning 12-6. In that first game, Illinois only managed 1 hit, a ground ball single by Addison Carroll. In game 2, the Illini totally flipped the script. They scored 7 runs in the first inning, which would have been enough to win on its own. Sophomores Ava Moore and Ellie Haggard have stood out, both getting 2 hits and plating 1 RBI each. Illinois will look to build on this win, but don't be too optimistic.
Jeez, that was brutal, Saeed. The Illini men's gymnastics team traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska for the Big Ten championships this past weekend, and they brought home some hardware. Most notably, junior Brandon Dang scored a season-high 14.85 on pommel horse, earning his 3rd straight Big Ten championship title on the event. Dang was also named to the All-Big Ten first team alongside junior Garrett Shuley. Overall, the Illini placed 3rd in the Big Ten championships with a score of 316.7. Now the team comes back to Champaign, where they will be hosting the 2026 NCAA championships at State Farm Center from April 17th to 18th. Now, men's golf was back on the green this past weekend as well. More on their powerhouse performance when we come back.
The Immerse Center for Immersive Computing at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign unites expertise across campus to shape the future of immersive computing. By blending the physical with the virtual, immersive computing is poised to transform healthcare, education, science, the arts, manufacturing, agriculture, retail, entertainment, and more. Our teams span immersive technologies, applications, and the human experience, with experts in hardware and software, AI and human-computer interaction, psychology and neuroscience, medicine, and the arts. We co-design across disciplines to deliver mobile, responsive, and trustworthy systems that enable rich, collaborative, all-day immersive experiences. Driven by real applications and centered on human experience, we work hand in hand with industry. We build real systems. We are redefining how people design, learn, and interact with computing.
From harnessing the transformative power of computing and data sciences, to discovering new ways for environmental and agricultural sustainability, to opening new pathways for better patient care and medical discovery using AI. At Illinois, we develop and deliver ideas that positively impact the world.
All right, the weather is finally starting to get all peachy and dandy, which means it's officially golf season. This past weekend, the 10th ranked Illini men's golf team competed in the Augusta Haskins Award Invitational. Now, they only have one more regular season tournament. Before the Big Ten Championships in May. Here to give us the breakdown is our golf expert herself, Anna Eckberg. Anna, what do you got?
Thanks, Saeed. And that's right, the Illini play in the Hoosier Collegiate in 2 weeks, making that their last regular season golf tournament. But based on their past performance this past weekend, that regular season finale is going to have way more weight than fans initially thought. The Illini placed 8th out of 16 teams in Augusta, making that their worst finish yet in the 2025-26 season. You don't want to be shooting high when the Big Ten tournament is less than a month away. So what went wrong? Well, out of the 16 teams in that tournament, 8 of those teams were nationally ranked, with the Illini being one of them. You had LSU, the reigning national champions, Oklahoma State, Pepperdine, and North Carolina all fighting for the win, and all teams ranked in the top 20. This tournament was going to be tough from the jump, and that toughness showed when round 3 ended on Sunday, and the Illini were one of only 2 teams that didn't have a top 5 finish. But since the Big Ten championships are coming up soon, it's important to note that in these national rankings, the Illini stand alone as the only Big Ten team in the top 20. The closest team to the Illini is UCLA at 31 and Northwestern, who sits at 41. The Big Ten championships this year are going to also be played in Oregon, and the last time the Illini traveled out west, they placed first in the Duck Invitational. So who knows, maybe this tournament was a fluke, or maybe the Illini faced a new caliber of performance they hadn't seen yet. Regardless, we shouldn't hold our breath yet when it comes to the Big Ten tournament. We'll see how they do in Bloomington and then go from there. I'll send it back on to you two.
Thank you so much, Anna. Now, the wait is almost over. The Illini track teams are coming back to Champaign for their first outdoor home meet of the year. The DECA Jam starts this Thursday, and it's happening right after multiple athletes are coming off an outstanding performance at the Florida Relays. Down in Gainesville, Brendan Vanderpool set a top 10 program mark in the pole vault and discus athlete Reese Heinencho placed 5th with a throw of 52.34 meters. With marks like that being set every week, fans of the orange and blue will certainly be excited to watch the Illini compete this week and show off what they've got.
As the Illini men's tennis team has begun to heat up at the season's end, one player has stood above the rest as he has found his footing here. Reed Lofstead with the goods. Reed, what's up?
This key scarf for the Illini comes in freshman Gabriel DeBrew. The number 37 player in the nation has put himself back on course for success after losing 3 straight singles matches to close out March. Despite the struggle DeBrew experienced on court 1, he has found his old self on courts 2 and 3. After the move, the freshman initially lost to Ohio State's Jack Anthrop, but he climbed back to success. DeBrew won 3 straight singles matches over the weekend against Eastern Kentucky, Indiana, and Purdue, all of which came in 2 sets, including a 6-0 shutout to win his court 3 matchup against Indiana's Facundo Yunus. DeBrew looks to continue success as the Illini take on UCLA and USC this weekend.
Thank you so much, Reed. We really appreciate it. As the season comes to a close, how crucial it will be for this team to make sure they are able to win as much as they can?
He's certainly going to prove to be a factor. He's been one of the best players for the Illini despite a little slip, and I think he's going to perform quite well.
Thank you so much, Reed.
Now, and of course, we have to end the show with an update on our ISN Crew March Madness bracket. And well, this is just for bragging rights. The men's side is coming down to the wire. But first, let's check on the women's bracket, which is officially wrapped up after UCLA took down South Carolina for the Natty. Now, almost everyone chose the Bruins to win, but you know, of course, I had the best bracket, and that is officially the owner of the women's bracket bragging rights. So things are starting to get extremely serious, though, Saeed, on the men's side. Let's see if you still have a chance. Right now, again, I'm in first place. Shocker. And I won it last year, too. So, you know, hey, it's bragging rights, Saeed. I'm going to use it.
Two-time winner. That's good for you. But, man, last place finish, that hurts. I'm not going to lie. That hurts.
Yeah, that's not great. It looks like I'm the last one standing here, which is fantastic.
And I think you're going to be right. We'll see. But I do suspect you will be right. But catch UI7 Live this Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Join Caitlin Devitt and Nathan Gonzalez for the latest news across Champaign County. Plus, David Flores brings you the fullest forecast with UI7 weather, so you're ready for the days ahead. Stay informed, connected, and watch UI7 Live Wednesdays at 5:30. That's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for tuning into Illini Sports Night. I'm Saeed Bravo.
And I'm Maisie Garrett. Have a great rest of your night.